Shifting to Mr. Fetterman, while we're still on the topic of electability, we direct the question to you. Both of your counterparts on the stage tonight have criticized you for the 2013 incident when you were mayor of Braddock. You confronted an unarmed black man who you believed may have been involved in a shooting and detained him with a gun until police arrived. If presented with the same situation, would you do anything differently today? You have 60 seconds.
Well, it's important that we first acknowledge the harm based on over-policing and profiling in the black community. It's important that we do that. But it's also important we contextualize Braddock as well, too. Braddock is a community that's 75% black, and I showed up in Braddock 20 years ago to teach GED classes because I wanted to help young people get their lives on track. And I ran for mayor 17 years ago because 2 of my students were gunned down because Braddock had a significant gun violence problem. And after running for mayor and winning, I attacked the gun violence problem in Braddock. And we succeeded. My proudest accomplishment was going 5.5 years, we stopped the killing. In 2013, I was outside on a cold January afternoon. I heard a burst of gunfire with my young son. I made a split-second decision to call 911, get my son to safety, and intercept an individual, the only individual out, running from where the gunfire came, and intercept him until our first responders arrived as Braddock's chief law enforcement officer and as the mayor.
15-second follow-up, though. Would you do anything differently today?
It's certainly not a situation that anyone would want to be involved with gun violence. But I'd like to point out that I'm the only Democrat on this stage that has successfully confronted crime and gun violence and has been in charge of a police department.
Did you do it?
Wait a minute, Mr. Lamb and Mr. Kenyatta, I am going to give you both a chance to answer on this. So the man involved in this incident, who is incarcerated for a separate crime, wrote to the Philadelphia Inquirer saying, quote, "It is inhumane to believe one mistake should define a man's life. I hope he," meaning Mr. Fetterman, "gets to be a senator." If that man is okay with it, Mr. Lamb, why aren't you? 60 seconds.
Well, in the same statement, the man said that he believes to this day John is lying about the question of whether he pointed the shotgun at him. The man is incarcerated, and John is one of the people who holds the keys to letting him out. He chairs the Board of Pardons. So I'm not surprised by that statement in the least. And it's a kind thing for him to say. At the time, not only did Christopher say that John pointed the shotgun right in his chest, John said that to the police. You know, as a prosecutor, I always look at a police report written at the time to understand what actually happened. And if you look at it, to this day, it says, Fetterman said he pulled the shotgun on the person in order to stop him. That's what John told the police at the time. That's what Christopher said at the time as well. But today, not only will John admit that he won't admit that he was pointing the gun at this person, he also won't really answer your question as to whether he did anything wrong and should have done it differently. And I just think that's disqualifying for any of us who have to work hard to gain the trust of the black community.
Mr. Kenyatta, same question. If the man who was involved in that incident says it's okay, why are you not okay with it? You have 60 seconds.
So let me just be crystal clear, because it's very rare we get John at an event. And so I'll say directly to the Lieutenant Governor, for somebody who has cut an image as an incredibly tough guy, you're so afraid of 2 little words. I'm sorry. You did take a 20-gauge shotgun, get in your pickup truck, travel into another town, and brandish that weapon at the chest of an unarmed black jogger. You did that. The problem is that John still, 9 years later, refuses to do one of the most important things that you want from any leader. You want them to be self-reflective. And I think John has gotten away with this for too long, with this idea that as long as he didn't know the jogger was black, it was fine what he did. It was not okay what John did. And John, I hope tonight you would say those 2 simple words. I'm sorry.
Mr. Fetterman, 30 seconds to respond on this incident.
I would like a lot to clarify. You know, I think it's important to mention that the people of Braddock who know me, that know my heart, know that 2013 had nothing to do with what they're saying today. There was no profiling or anything involved. They know that. And that's why they reelected me by overwhelming margins to 2 additional terms as mayor. And at the end of the day, I want to be clear. That never happened. I never pointed the weapon at the individual. And you know, everyone in Braddock knows. And not only does everyone in Braddock know what happened in 2013, we know what this is about here on the stage.
Mr. Kenyatta, I'm going to give you 15 seconds.
John, we get it. You have a black friend. The question is, did you point a 20-gauge shotgun at the chest of a black man? And you have an opportunity with all of Pennsylvania watching to say, I'm sorry. Are you going to say I'm sorry today, John?
That never happened.
So you're not going to say I'm sorry?
That never happened.
So you
Malcolm.
still refuse to say I'm sorry to this day?
I'm the only Democrat that successfully
You're
confronted
the only
gun
Democrat
violence.
who used a shotgun to chase down an unarmed black
Gentlemen,
child.
Never.
thank you.
Okay.
Lisa?
We do need to move on.